Chapter 2. From hunting, gathering to growing food. Tushar's train journey. Tushar was going from Delhi to Chennai for his cousin's wedding. They were traveling by train and he had managed to squeeze into the window seat, his nose glued to the glass pane as he watched trees and house fly past. His uncle tapped his shoulder and said, "Do you know the trains were the first used about 150 years ago, and the people began using buses a few decades later?" Tushar wondered, when people couldn't travel quickly from one place to another, did they spend their entire lives wherever they were born? Not quite. The earliest people, why were they on the move? We know about the people who lived in the subcontinent as early as 2 million years ago. Today we describe them as hunter-gatherers. The name comes from the way in which they got their food. Generally, they hunted wild animals, caught fish, birds, gathered fruits, roots, nuts, etc. Hunter-gatherers move from place to place. There are many reasons for this. First, if they stayed at one place for a long time, they would have eaten up all the available plants and animal resources. Therefore, they would have to go elsewhere in search of food. Second, animals move from place to place either in search of small prey or, in case of deer and wild cattle, in search of grass and leaves. That is why those who hunted them had to follow their movements. Third, plants and trees bear fruit in different seasons, so people may have moved from season to season in search of different kinds of plants. Fourth, people, plants, and animals need water to survive. Water is found in lakes, streams, and rivers. While many rivers and lakes are perennial, that is, water with water throughout the year, others are seasonal. People living on their banks would have had to go in search of water during the dry season, winter, and summer. How do we know about these people? Archaeologists have found some of the things hunters and gatherers may have made and used. It is likely that people made and used tools of stone, wood, or bones, of which stone tools have the best survival. Some of these stone tools were used to cut meat and bones, scrap bark from trees and hides, that is animal skin, chop fruits and roots. Some may have been attached to handles or bones of wood to make spears and arrows for hunting. Other tools were used to chop woods, which was used as firewood. Wood was also used to make huts and tools. Choosing a place to live in. Look at map 2. All these places marked with red triangles are the site from which archaeologists have found evidence of hunters and gatherers. Hunters-gatherers lived in many places. Only some are shown in the map. Many sites were located near the sources of water, such as rivers and lakes. As stone tools are important, people tried to find places where good quality stone was easily available. Rock painting and what they tell us. Many of the caves in which these early people lived have painting on the walls. Some of the best examples are from Madhya Pradesh and southern Uttar Pradesh. These paintings show wild animals drawn with great accuracy and skill. Sites are the places where remains of things, that is, tools, pots, buildings, etc., were found. These are made, used, and left behind by people. These may be found on the surface of the earth, buried under the earth, or sometimes even underwater. You will learn more about these different sites in later chapters. Finding out about life. Find the Cornell Caves on map 2, page 13. Traces of ash have been found here. This suggests that the people were familiar with the use of fire. Fire could have been used for many things, such as source of light, to roast meat, to scare away animals. What do we use fire for today? Name and dates. Archaeologists have given lengthy names for the times that we study. They call the earliest period the Paleolithic, which comes from the Greek words paleo, meaning old, and lithos, meaning stone. The name points to the importance of finds of stone tools. The Paleolithic period extends from 2 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago. This long stretch of time is divided into lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic. This long span of time covers 99% of human society. The period when we find environmental changes beginning about 12,000 years ago till about 10,000 years ago is called the Mesolithic or metal stone. Stone tools found during this period are generally tiny and are more called microliths. Microliths were probably stuck onto the handles or bones of the wood to make it tools such as saw and sickles. At the same time, older varieties of the tool continued to be in use. The next stage, from about 10,000 years ago, is known as Neolithic. What do you think of the term Neolithic means? We have also mentioned the names of some places. We will find the names of the many more places in the later chapters. Very often we use present day names for the place where people lived in the past because we do not know what they called them. A changing environment. Around 12,000 years ago, there were major changes in the climate in the world with a shift to the relatively warm condition in many areas. This led to the development of grasslands. This in turn led to the increase in the number of deer, antelope, goat, sheep and cattle, etc. Animals survived on the grass. Those who hunted these animals now followed them, learning about their food habits and their breeding seasons. It is likely that this helped people to start thinking about herding and rearing these animals themselves. Fishing also became important. The beginning of farming and herding. This was also a time when several grain-bearing grasses, including wheat, barley, rice, grew naturally in different parts of the subcontinent. Men, women, and children probably collected these grains as food and learned where they grew. And when they ripened, this may have led them to think about growing plants on their own. This way, people have become farmers. People could also attract and tame animals by leaving food or for them near their shelters. The first animal to be tamed was the wild ancestor of the dog. Later, people encouraged animals that were relatively gentle to come near the camps where they lived. These animals, such as sheep, goat, cattle, and also the pig, lived in herds, and most of them ate grasses. Often, people protected these animals from attacks by other wild animals. This is how they become herders. Can you think of any reason why dogs were perhaps the first animal to be tamed? Domestication. It is the name given to the process in which people grow plants and took after animals. Very often, plants and animals that are tended by people become different from wild plants and animals. This is because people select plants and animals for domestication. For example, they select those plants and animals that are not prone to disease. They also select the plants that yield large size grain and have strong stalks capable of bearing the weight of the ripe grain. Seeds from selected plants are preserved and shown to ensure that new plants will have the same qualities. Amongst animals, those that are relatively gentle are selected for breeding. As a result, gradually domesticated animals and plants become different from the wild animals and plants. For example, the teeth and horns of wild animals are usually much larger than those of the domesticated animals. Look at these two sets of teeth which you think belongs to the wild pig and which to a domesticated one. Domestication was a gradual process that took place in many parts of the world. It began about 12,000 years ago. Virtually all the plants and animals produced that we use as food today is a result of domestication. Some of the earliest plants to be domesticated was wheat and barley. The earliest domesticated animals include sheep and goat. The new way of life. If you plant a seed, you will notice that it takes some time to grow. This may be for several days, weeks, months, and in some cases years. When people began growing plants, it meant that they had to stay in the same place for a long time, looking after plants, watering, weeding, driving away animals and birds till the grain ripened, and then the grain had to be used carefully. As grain had to be stored for both food and seed, people had to think of ways of storing it. In many areas, they began making large clay pots or wove baskets or dug pits into grounds. Do you think hunters-gatherers would have made used pot? Give reasons for your answer. Storing animals. Animals multiply naturally. Besides, if they are looked after carefully, they provide milk, which is an important source of food, and meat whenever required. In other words, animals that are reared can be used as a store of food. Apart from food, what are the other things that could have been obtained from animals? What are animals used for today? Finding out about the first farmer and herders. Turn to map 2. You will notice a number of blue squares. Each marks a site from where archaeologists have found evidence of early farmers and herders. These are found all over the subcontinent. Some of the most important ones are in the northwest, in present-day Kashmir, and in the east, that is, and South India. To find out whether these sites were settlements of farmers and herders, scientists study evidence of plants and animal bones. One of the most exciting finds, including remains of burnt grains, this may have been burnt accidentally or on purpose. Scientists can identify these grains, and so we know that a number of crops were grown in different parts of the subcontinent. They can also identify the bones of different animals. Towards a settled life, archaeologists have found traces of huts or houses at some sites. For instance, in Burzahom, in present-day Kashmir, people built pit houses which were dug into the ground with steps leading into them. These may have provided shelter in cold weather. Archaeologists have also been found cooking huts both inside and outside of the hut, which suggests that depending on weather, people cook food either indoors or outdoors. Stone tools have been found from many sites as well. Many of these are different from the earlier Paleolithic tools, and that is why they are called Neolithic. These include tools that were polished to give a fine cutting edge, then mortars and pestles used for grinding grain and other plant produce. Mortars and pestles are used for fine grinding grain even today, several thousand years later. At the same time, tools of the Paleolithic types continued to be made and used, and remember, some tools were also made of bone. Many kinds of earthen pots have also been found. These were sometimes decorated and were used for storing things. People began using pots for cooking foods, especially grains like rice, wheat, and lentils that now become an important part of the diet. Besides, they began weaving cloth using different kinds of materials, for example, cotton that could now be grown. Did things change everywhere and all at once? Not quite. In many years, men and women still continued to hunt and gather food, and elsewhere people adopted farming and herding slowly over several thousand years. Besides, in some cases, people tried to combine these activities, doing different things during different seasons. A closer look: living and dying in Mehergarh. This site is located in a fertile plain near the Bolan Pass, which is one of the most important routes into Iran. Mehergarh was probably one of the places where people learned how to grow barley and wheat and rear sheep and goat for the first time in this area. It is one of the earliest villages that we know about. At this site, many animals' bones were found. Bones of wild animals such as deer and pig, and also the bone of sheep and goat were found. Other finds at Mehergarh include remains of squares of rectangular houses, each house and 4 or more compartments, some of which may have been used for storage. When people die, their relatives and friends generally pay respect to them. People look after them, perhaps in the belief that there is some form of life after death. Burial is one such arrangement. Several burial sites have been found at Mehergarh. In one instance, the dead person was buried with goat, which were probably meant to serve as the food in the next world. Elsewhere, cave painting in France. Find France in your atlas. The painting below is from a cave in France. The site were discovered by 4 school children more than 100 years ago. Paintings like this were made between 20,000 and 10,000 years ago. Many of these were animals such as wild horses, aurochs, an wilder form of cattle, bison, woolly rhinoceros, reindeer, and bear, painted in bright colors. These colors were made from minerals like ochre or iron ore and charcoal. It is possible that these paintings were done on ceremonial occasions, or perhaps they were made for special rituals performed by hunters before they went in search of prey. Can you think of any other reasons? Elsewhere, find Turkey in your atlas. One of the most famous Neolithic sites, Çatalhöyük, was found in Turkey. Several things were brought from great distances: flint from Syria, cowries from Red Sea, shells from Mediterranean Sea, and used in the settlement. Remember, there were no carts. Most of this would have been carried on the backs of the pack animals such as cattle or by people.